Hey ladies and gentlemen, Steven here from the channel Redolessence, and I want to thank you all so much for tuning in. It really means a lot to me, and I'm so excited because in this video, we're going to be taking a closer look at the newest release by the company Imaginary Authors, and this one is called St. Julep, so stay tuned. Now this fragrance was released in 2017. The perfumer for this one is Josh Meyer. I just want to mention right off the bat that Imaginary Authors is one of my favorite indie houses by far for a bunch of reasons. One, the way that their fragrances smell. Two, the concept. Three, the customer service, the loyalty, the perfumer, the creative director. I mean, he's such a great guy. This is so DIY. I mean, everything has so much attention given and dedicated to it that it's really worth the praise. I also do want to mention that this bottle was sent to me, not for review. Josh didn't ask me to review it or anything, but he asked me to confirm my address that he had for a few months now, and he goes, something will be on its way to you. And then here I was coming home from work one day, opened up my mail to see this beautiful bottle in my possession. So Josh, I want to thank you so much. It's my pleasure to be able to review this fragrance for you. So let's go ahead and start things off by taking a closer look at the presentation. So the box of this one is supposed to resemble a book. It says St. Julep here at the top, kind of has an ecclesiastical feel. I really like the motif here. Here is the spine of the book, so to speak. And then here on the back, you have a few of the notes and a cool little quote. If you want to read it, you can pause your screen right there. But all of this is made up. It's imaginary. It does have this sleeve here. It's kind of hard to remove sometimes until you break it in. It does say unisex perfume. Josh really prides himself on the fact that this can be worn by both men and women, and I love that. I love the direction that fragrance is heading in. And when you open it up, sure enough, it has a bookmark on the inside. So a picture of the imaginary author there, the quotes, the notes, the website, and this even doubles as a blotter. And then here on the inside, you have the silhouette of the bottle. I just think it's all awesome attention to detail. Really cool presentation. Super stoked to have this one in my collection. Let's take a look at the bottle. Here it is. Just has a J on the front for julep. Again, it has like an ecclesiastical look about it. Notes on the back here. IA in the cap over here at the top. Cool attention to detail. Atomizer. Really wide distribution. Let's go ahead and continue the review with the smell. Now, I forgot to mention earlier that this fragrance is based off of an imaginary author. With all of their fragrances, you can see them up here. All of them are based off of an imaginary author and an imaginary book, hence the name of the company. So this one, St. Julep, is the name of the imaginary novel or the book. I don't know who the author is, although I'm sure it's written somewhere on this box. I just didn't take time to read it. Maybe it's on this cool little bookmark here. The author is Milton Nevers, and I guess he was born in 1931. Completely imaginary, such a cool concept. Now with this one, pretty simple note breakdown. They're all, not only are they written on the box, they're also written on the back of the bottle. So I'll go ahead and read them to you. The notes are sweet mint, tangerine, southern magnolia, bourbon, grisalva, sugar cube, crushed ice. The moment I read the note breakdown, one thing came to my mind. Mojito. Mint, sugar cube, water vibe. I thought to myself, man, this is going to smell like a mojito. And kind of does. It kind of does. Those of you who follow my channel, you know that those are some of my favorite fragrances. I'm talking about fragrances like 1861 Renaissance by Xerjoff, Aquadecima by Eau d'Italie, composed by Alberto Morillas. I had the pleasure of meeting him recently. Such a great guy. And with this one, it's no exception, but it does remind me of another fragrance, and not any of the two that I just mentioned. This one, in the dry down at least, with that sugary note that it has, it reminds me of Baccarat Rouge by Maison Francis Kurkdjian, which is one of my all-time favorite fragrances. I have two little decant bottles of it, and I'm treasuring them. I'm like dreading the day that I run out of that stuff. And in the dry down, that sugary quality, it smells so much like Baccarat Rouge to me. I do like the inclusion of the mint note up on top. I love my freshie, and right around this time of the year, you want that. You want the mint, you want that watery note to it, you want all of those fresh ingredients that's really gonna give you the energy and the vitality to carry you through the hot summer days, and this one is right up my alley. I mean, I love this one. I really, really do. There are some imaginary authors scents that I didn't care for too much, and that's why I don't own them. The ones that I do own, either they were sent to me or I just love them so much to the point where I felt like, man, I gotta get a bottle of this, like A City on Fire, An Air of Despair. I bought those because I sampled them and I fell in love with them. Cape Heartache being another one. And this one, I'm telling you, Josh, if you had not sent this to me, I would have purchased this. So maybe you lost a little bit of business there. I do apologize for that, but this is awesome. And I love everything from the notes to the presentation to the name, everything about it. I don't get the floral component to it, magnolia. There's only one other scent that I have in my collection that has a note of magnolia, and that's Pardon by Nasomato. I'm sure I have many fragrances that have magnolia in them, but that's like the only one that comes to mind. And I don't get a floral component from this one, but I do get the bourbon note in the opening. It has that boozy quality about it. So you have the booze, you have the sugar, you have the mint. It does have a mojito vibe, but it has that Baccarat Rouge dried down with the sugar. It is amazing. Josh, you knocked it out of the park with this one of your best. Let's go ahead and finish things off with my overall assessment. Now, in terms of the uniqueness, even though I made comparisons to other fragrances, this is still unique. It stands out. It's a fragrance in its own right, and it's a pretty transparent fragrance, not just in the way that it performs, but also in the note breakdown. What you see is what you get. Very honest composition. Thank you, Josh. In terms of the overall smell, incredibly pleasant. My wife even loves this one too, although she did admit it was a little bit on the lighter side. So I just have to say that in full transparency. Longevity on this one, it was about 5 to 6 hours on my skin. It did become a skin scent at like the 4th hour. So for some people, if you're looking for a beast mode performer, if you're looking for like 8+ hours, you're not going to get it here. But if you want a really light, fresh, citrusy, minty, boozy, sugary scent, super unique blend, something that's going to carry you through the summer for like the first 4 hours of each day. If you're a respritzer, you're going to do well with this one. If you expect your fragrance to last eons on your skin, this is a no-go. Projection is awesome for like the first 2 hours because it has the more volatile citrus and the mint and everything. But then, like I said, it does dry down to a skin scent by like hour 3 or 4. So just please keep that in mind. Versatility is the highest it could be. It's perfectly unisex, never a bad time to wear it. Maybe a lot of you might say in the dead of winter, it's not going to sustain or hold its, hold up or whatever. I can see that, but I think it's incredibly versatile. Anybody of any age can wear it. And in terms of presentation, I think it's amazing. Final verdict on this one, I love it. But I have to be honest when I say that it's not the best performer. So as much as I love the smell, and I think it's up there with some of my other favorite mint fragrances like Aqua Decima and 1861 Renaissance, the thing is this one has the lowest performance of the two that I just mentioned. So, I mean, take that with a grain of salt. Your skin, you might work better on your skin. If you layer it with Molecule 01, it might do really well. If you apply it on top of unscented lotion, that might also work really well for you. If you have oily skin, if you don't have dry skin like I do, these are all considerations to take, but I love the scent. Josh, I think you did an incredible job. I want to thank you for everything that you're doing for the community, for the industry. Thank you for your generosity in sending me this fragrance. And for those of you at home, I encourage you go out there and sample it for yourself, right? Don't blind buy. Don't take my word at face value, but take it as a recommendation. Let it shape your future samples, and then let your sampling, trust your own nose, let that be the final verdict, so to speak, for what fragrances you purchase and which ones you don't. So thank you all so much for tuning in. I want to know, what is your favorite imaginary author's fragrance? Let me know. Leave a comment down below. Also, don't forget to subscribe for future videos, and remember to enable notifications by clicking on the bell. This way you never miss any of my future content. So remember, I smell well so you can smell good. We'll see you in the next episode. Take care.